that can't keep their word, who will not make corrections as the case goes on. And check this out, whenever she came to my house, what I wanted to do was record her. And she basically got up and walked out the door. And it's like, hey, you sit there and you tell me you're going to leave us alone. We get to court and you're finding new reasons to hang out with us. And I think that people do that to torture people. I think people do that to basically rip off the taxpayers. And that's the way I feel. And I just felt that everything could have got out of the way quicker if they would have just went ahead and let's do this. From the very beginning, I think that they could have just left us alone at the very beginning, because if they would have just had the people I know in court, and these people have known me my whole entire life. Now, if they would have had all these people come to court and we could have all talked about it, we would have had that doctor in there who said, oh no, it's not possible, your sister can use her name. And then have my sister who used my name, which I had asked, and the reason I asked them to do this 6 years ago, because my sister has AIDS, she is dying, and she can't hold on forever and ever and ever, but I needed her to come to court and tell them that, and they refused to, so I submitted documentation that was notarized and brought it into court, and I said, here's a report showing all the crimes that my sister committed. This is all the things that my sister did do, and I said, is that good enough for you, or are you going to allow her to come in here and talk? Because let me tell you something, nothing more frustrating than bringing people into court and then the judge won't even allow them on the stand. And I just wonder how many of you people have been through this. And I'm doing this to save somebody else the trouble that I've been through. Because for one, when you're having a baby and you're in the hospital and you talk to any of those people, they're going to find a reason to write a report in order to get a case going, in order to rip off the taxpayers. Because for one, taxpayers have to work so hard. I know, because I've worked really hard in my past. And I love working, and I was going to return to working, but it's like, how can you do that when you have to worry about, well, these people are coming by my house anytime they feel like it. And they're making appointments to come to my house. And it's like, am I supposed to take an hour or two off from work to come home to check on somebody I just don't trust? So at this point, I washed my hands of it. I said, you know what? I can't even work. I can't even do it. I can't return to something that I really enjoy. And it's like, how can I go to school? How can I work if I have to keep an eye on these people that will not make any corrections on the documentation that's submitted? And I wrote reports, counter reports, basically pointing out that, hey, you're making mistakes because here's the correct person's name. This is the correct number. Here's their address, and here's their fax number. So when you're telling me that my child did not get proper medical care, and I have healthcare officials with their full name and number writing a whole letter to court saying, well, the children have made every single appointment, they've had their shots in a timely manner, whenever they've gotten sick in the past, it was brought to the hospital with proper precision, and they take the paper and they look at it. This is what they do in court. This is so funny. They get the paperwork from me because they wouldn't let me talk for 3 years. And I swear to God, on my mama's grave, may I never see my mom in heaven. They didn't let me say one freaking word in court. Not one single word in court. And then they get my paperwork, because the reason I did the paperwork to begin with was because they wouldn't listen to anything I had to say. They do like this, and then they just put it down. I swear, that's exactly what they did. And when I got pregnant again, they sat there and they said, oh, you've got some nerve to get pregnant again. This is not the right time for you to have a baby. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm a 40-year-old woman. I'm a grown adult. How dare you tell me when it's time to have another baby? And it's like, I did have that baby, and my son is awesome. But I felt like, I got to call the police. You know, it's like after I gave birth, it's like, let me keep an eye on them. Let me see what's going on. You know, if I can't bodyguard my son, then I'm going to have my son bodyguard my son, you know, because that's a shame when you have to sit there and you have to watch your child and you have to see what they're going to do. And, you know, are they going to try to walk off with my gorgeous, beautiful son? And, you know, when they got to look at him in public school, because I took him out of private school, then they wanted him. That's what it's all about. You see beautiful, gorgeous children, and you want to put them in foster care. And even if you give them to the family, you're going to give them to the family at the rate, which is going to be a lot lower. You save money when you go from family member to the family member. See, with professionals, they're going to get like $2,000-$3,000 to put in their pocket, plus the child's check, plus the child support. Okay? You give them to a family member, the only thing you're going to get is a check, a small check, and the support. You see, if you're a family member, you get far less. So therefore, you don't really get to do a lot more. Now, if you're a person who's been to school or you're with foster care, okay, you're going to get a hell of a lot more money. You're going to get enough money to pay off your mortgage to your house. So it's just as good as having a regular job, you know, where you're making good money for the government. And it's just constant and consistency. That's all they're really looking for. And I feel in my heart that they're never going to leave me alone. They're never going to allow me to be a parent. They're never going to let me feel that peace of being a parent. You know, whenever I go see my child once a month, my children once a month, it's like they're watching everything we do. We can't even do what we want to do. It's like if my son wants to throw a ball with daddy outside, it all has to be all of us together. My daughter's not particularly too crazy about throwing balls, but she does dance for me. And I play music and we dance. But it's like, hey, we can't do what we used to do. If my son wants to go and play ball with dad, that's the way it used to be. If my daughter wanted to stay home and she wanted to dance her little heart out, you know, we put a little Frank Sinatra on, a little jazz, a little blues, a little funk, a little rock, a little reggae. If she wanted to dance for me, hey, that can occur. It's always going to have to be, you know, we don't trust you with your own children. We don't trust you at all. So we need to do all the activities that are the same instead of doing them separately. Because we did have a 3-bedroom, and if my son wanted to go to his room, put his toys together, look at a color book, then he can do it. If my daughter wanted to go to her room, maybe put on an educational video, that was something she was able to do. But I do have to say that we have no life, absolutely no life at all. Yes, we have no life at all, because it's like our children don't have the freedom to do what they want because we don't have enough people sitting up there writing notes on everything that we do. Everything we eat, everything we say, everything that we do, it's all judged. So it's like we have no life anyway. But I do want to stop other people from suffering the way that we have over the last 6 years. I mean, we have a doctor. These people started trouble in our lives. They walked away, and the only thing they know how to do is put restraining order on us. But yet, they want nothing to do with us, but yet they won't talk to us. But